Hello and welcome back to another Instagram Live and Artist Stories. I'm TOVI, founder of Louder Society. Louder Society is a non-profit organization that enhances health through art and creativity. We've been operating in the city of Calgary since 2015. And throughout this time, we have provided several different public art projects, programs, and events, for which we have received very positive feedback so far. Since the pandemic has started, we have started a new project with Artist Stories that we just reach out to artists from anywhere around the world and we share their stories on our Instagram live streaming. Today we have another amazing artist, my very good friend, Rebecca Emms. She is a musician, songwriter, and singer. And while she's going to join us, I'm just going to play one of her songs. It calls Ceiling. Very nice song. So how do I mind? All right. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us about your background. How long have you been making music? And why did you become interested in music?
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. Well, I currently perform under the name TOVI. I'm a singer, songwriter, getting into producing music a little bit. mostly under like rock, synth, pop genres. Yeah, I got my start. I mean, if we're going way back, my mom is a piano and voice teacher. So, yeah, I was pretty into piano growing up and voice a little bit, and then got into violin, and then by high school, I was really interested in more like rock music, so I got into guitar and then songwriting more near the end of high school, and it continued from there. Like, went to college for music and played in a few bands. Well, and like, you know, I'm from Alberta. Moved out to Toronto. I've been out here a few years now. Just for more of a... There's just a lot going on here for music, I guess.
Better exposure there?
Sorry, what was that?
Better exposure.
Better exposure? Yeah. I feel like there's more of like the industry side of things here. Like Calgary and Edmonton have great active scenes. But yeah, I guess Toronto has more like, I mean, there are a lot more venues, so there's not necessarily like always better opportunities, but like more like different scenes to be a part of. And like you'll find kind of like your people like in your genre. And then obviously like more people to work with, and yeah, so I've been enjoying that. Okay, what else did you ask me there? That was a lot in the question.
Yeah.
Anything?
I guess Toronto is more culturally developed too, you know, as opposed to Calgary or Edmonton. It's very clear, we see that there is no nightlife here as much as it is in Toronto or in bigger cities. So it makes sense that for music, you would choose there. Where did you go to college for your music?
I went to Grant MacEwan in Edmonton.
Edmonton. Oh, okay. So you got your degree here in Alberta and then you moved to...
Yeah. Yeah, so I did spend I guess it was 3 years in Edmonton. I guess when you're like young, like 3 years feels like a really long time. Yeah. So that was like out of high school, like first 3 years out of high school, I was in Edmonton. And I mean, I've been back and forth to Alberta a bit. But yeah, so I got like a pretty decent taste of what it's like in Edmonton, and obviously like I feel like that city has changed a lot in like the last 10 years going back. But yeah, there's something about being out here. I don't like being away from family, but yeah, I love this city for the nightlife for sure. And there's so many different like producers out here to like be working with. Like when I'm recording, like when I was back in Alberta for a bit, like I would like fly to Toronto to work with who I wanted to. So when I'm here, it can be like a little more relaxed. Like I don't have to book like 10 days straight in a studio. Like I can like do little bits here and there, and be able to like have that bigger pool of people that I can collaborate with, I guess, in person. Obviously not so much anymore. Everything's online, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Still.
A little bit different of yeah, I think a lot of people right now as musicians in this very expensive city, we're a little bit like, why are we here at the moment? Because all the things we've enjoyed about the city
It's shut down pretty
aren't
much.
there, yeah. So, but
So,
keeping my fingers crossed.
yeah, things are moving forward very slowly, but steadily, I guess. Your family is still in Alberta, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
In Red Deer.
In Red Deer.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess so. You know, our organization, the focus of our organization is on the health benefits that practicing any form of art and creative activities can have for us. Do you believe that your music practice, because I know we met in the art class together, so I know you have a little bit of that background too. Do you believe that your practice had any effects on your health at all?
Yeah. So I think there's like kind of two sides to it. Cause like I'm more like, trying to like make a career out of it, which can be pretty frustrating. But if you like strip that away and you're like looking at just the artistic aspect, like either looking at like visual arts or music or writing or whatever, if like when you're practicing it and creating, just like putting that time aside and not thinking about what you're gonna do with it or like what you're trying to, I guess like the exterior, like thinking about like, oh, who's gonna like look at this painting or who's gonna listen to this song. If you can get rid of all those thoughts as much as you can, I think all these different art forms are such a good way of understanding yourself. Like without, like it's such a good way of being able to understand yourself without like talking to anyone. It's just you can dive in like into something and things will come out of it like that. You like maybe that is on a subconscious level will come out in your art. And I think that it's really good to acknowledge these sides of us or these feelings that maybe in other activities we're doing throughout the day, going to work, like hanging out with friends, whatever, isn't letting you dig into that.
Yeah.
And I think those actions can let that come out, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just find it is really something that helps me understand myself. And I know if I haven't been working on writing for a bit, I feel a little agitated.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain. Like I'm like it's like weird because I'll realize, oh yeah, I haven't like played guitar in a couple days. And for me, so much like there's such a difference between like practicing music, like playing songs, and then like actually trying to write new songs. It's such a different thing for me. Like I find performing music, playing music, I get a lot out of that. Like I feel like I get more joy from that, like more happiness, but it's not like digging into any kind of like it's not therapeutic for me like writing is. And writing can be very frustrating for me. Like it's not it's not a joyful task, but I
doesn't
love
come
outcomes.
easy.
Sorry?
It doesn't come as easy always. Sometimes
No.
it comes, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes, well, I find writing really interesting, like, and I know, like, so many songwriters say the same thing, like, sometimes I'll be working on a song and I feel like it's not going anywhere, and I'll work on it. I'll have it kind of like sitting there chipping away at it for like a couple months, and I'll be like, this song is horrible and is not going anywhere. And then I'll like sit down for 20 minutes and like a whole song will come out and it'll be great. But I think that it's like that chipping away at a song is like there's always something kind of stewing in your subconscious.
Yeah.
And you have to be like ready to put in the work in order to like
Catch it.
Sorry, I'm getting so distracted. There's like this construction going on somewhere.
Oh.
And I'm like, shut up. Okay.
I need to put some background music here.
I'm just like, shh. I don't know what it is. What was I saying? Yeah, I feel like you have to sit down and do the work, like just trying to make something, because otherwise you might miss this like magic like idea that has been stewing and you didn't put in the time to like put it down on, like to record it, or maybe it's like a painting, like your idea for a painting, you didn't do a sketch. It can't just sit in your brain forever. Like you have to like, I guess it's that motion of like doing something physical, you know, playing some chords on the guitar for it to come through.
Record it as soon as possible, document it somehow. So in terms of your music making, how's your routine usually? Like you just, as soon as something comes into your mind, do you record your voice with it? Do you play it? Like how are you going to document it as soon as possible before you forget it?
Yeah, I throw in little ideas onto my voice memos on my phone, which is handy. Like if I'm outside, I'll just like pretend I'm talking on the phone.
Okay.
And like sometimes I'm like singing at the grocery store or something. Or like the notes on the phone, like sometimes it'll just be like, oh, that's like a cool line for a chorus or something. And I'll write that down. So then I guess then when I go to sit down, like, because like these ideas are easy to forget. Sometimes they stick because they're so freaking catchy, but a lot of the time, like I think of it and then if I don't record it somehow, it's like forgotten. And then so when I do have time to like sit down and work, I can go through my phone or my notes, or like I have lots on my computer too. Like when I'm just working on my computer, sometimes I'll think of something and jot it down. And then so when I want to actually like be productive and make something, I have all these little ideas and I can see what is like inspiring me that day, like what to grow off of in terms of like little ideas I've had in the past.
That's very cool. I had one question. It just, I forgot it now, but I'm sure it will come back.
Okay.
So here's my next question to you. What is the theme of your artworks? Does your music have a theme at all? And how many pieces of music have you made? Do you count them at all? Do you have an album yet, or like you just make?
Right. I have like one like EP of like my project TOVI that is 4 songs, and then like my old band Girl Meets Bear, we have an EP out for that and 1 single, and I currently have an EP that's waiting to be released. And then, I mean, I always, like, I have tons of songs that I haven't recorded that may never be, like, properly recorded. I feel like every artist, like, you have, like, you just gotta, like, pick the best of the bunch. And, yeah, and it's, like, a lot of time and money to get these recordings done. Okay, what was your other question with that?
So I know you started out with, I think mostly rock music, but do you think that whatever that mainstream is playing has any effect on your choice of style? Now, are you trying to make it like this music ceiling that you sent me and we played it? Was it, you know, affected by what other people are listening, or that was just purely an inspirational and you're like, nope, this is it. This is it.
Well, so when I first started songwriting, I was playing a lot of, like, I feel like I was writing kind of folk music, but, like, I didn't listen to folk music. Like, that wasn't what I liked. And it was kind of like, there was this point where I was like, I want to start writing music that sounds like music I like to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which is like, duh, that's what you should do. So, like, for me, it isn't, like, the most, like, the genres I write in, it's not, like, what comes super natural to me. It is a choice, and I think everything I record, like, there are, like, these influences. Sometimes they're, like, on purpose, where I'm like, oh, I want it to sound more like this band sound or something. Sometimes it's like it sneaks in there, like I don't even realize it until, like, someone, like, points it out to me. And normally it's like, oh yeah, like, I love that band, but I didn't really think about it. So yeah, there's a bit of both, where it is, like, a decision I made.
Yeah.
Like, as far as, like, I guess there's two components to it. 'Cause, like, when I write, I normally write, like, the song, like, the bare bones of it, like, on acoustic guitar or piano. And then I'm adding layers of, like, the electric guitar, bass, synth, whatever later. And when I add that kind of, like, determines where it fits genre-wise, right? Like, when I'm just writing the song, like, it could go, like, I could turn it into a folk or a country song if I wanted to. I feel like lots of times, like, really good songs, like, they can fit into different genres, and it's just, like, a decision of the aesthetic direction you want it to go in, I guess.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, because I think those musics that are kind of like, not just music, any piece of art that is kind of timeless, you know, any time that you would listen to it, you still would enjoy it. It's literally, maybe we could call it classical. Are those pieces that you could sing them in any style and it would still sound interesting, you know, whether it would be folk music or if you would turn it all the way up to, I don't know, rock, metallic, something like that, it still would sound interesting. It's just a matter of that. You're right, like, having the bones of it, if the foundation of it is put together well, it could be in any genre and still would sound interesting. It really depends on what the time is and what people are listening to mostly. And which one is more preferred.
Yeah, and I mean, there are these older songs that keep coming back because, like, with artists covering them, because they're good, like, they're classics for a reason, right? Like, it feels good for anyone to play it, so they keep coming back. New artists want to play them, and I think that's proof of a really good song. So that's like my goal, I guess, like, with my writing, is like, can it yeah, can it be timeless? Does it, like, can it be in different genres? Like, that's, like, I don't think I'm, like, writing thinking, like, oh, I hope this can, like, be a country song too. It's just, like, I know that that's, like, a good test of whether it's a good song or not, if it can go in different directions. But at the same time, I know, like, I guess a lot of the songs, I feel like I'm going on a tangent, but I feel like a lot of the songs that like I said, that, like, I haven't recorded, I maybe haven't recorded them because they don't lend themselves well to the, like, sound that I want. Like, maybe if I do want to release, like, a folk album one day, maybe I'll go back to those songs and they'll be on that album. They're just, it doesn't, like, come super, I don't know, they're not, like, I can't hear the arrangement of the instruments,
Right.
of, like, what my taste is, like, how I want to sound for those particular songs, I guess. Yeah.
Oh. So the question that I was asking and I forgot was that now that, like, if you have pieces of music that you have recorded or pieces of lyrics that you have sang and recorded, when you are making music, do you just put these together, or again, like, it really depends to, okay, I want to make this particular sounding song, and you know exactly which piece would go with which piece, or you just play around until you find something that works?
Oh, like putting different parts of a song together? Is that
Yeah, or like the ones that you have recorded, do you
right?
know exactly what you want, or you're like, okay, well, let's just play around and see what goes with what?
Yeah, I think a lot of the time I am, like, just playing around. Like, maybe I'll have, like, the one idea, like, I'll have like the chorus idea right away. Like the catchiest part of the whole song. But then I'm like, oh, I have to, like, write verses, which is, like, kind of, I see as more of, like, the meat of the song, like, giving it more the meaning around the chorus, right? Like, where the storyline is happening. So sometimes I, like, it'll be magic and I'll have, like, 2 different parts that I wrote on 2 different days and they fit together and I'm like, cool, there's, like, a whole song. But sometimes I don't, and then I have to, like, whatever piece I already have, I have to think around that, like, what am I trying to say with that, and come up with new parts to match it.
Yeah.
And then as far as, like, lyrics versus music, I don't know, like, I don't even know. I feel like they're kind of like this simultaneous thing. Like, I feel like the lyrics kind of, like, tell you what the melody is supposed to be. And I feel like I rarely have a melody first and then add lyrics. I find that really hard, a hard way to work. I think there's a lot of people that do that where they're like, oh, I have, like, a cool melody idea. But then I'm like, it's just trying to fit in, like, lyrics, like, trying to smush lyrics into fitting a melody. Like, I've done it, but I feel like it's forced or something.
Okay.
Because I feel like the meaning of the lyrics shouldn't have to fit a sound, I guess. Okay. I don't know. But I know people...
I agree on you with that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to do it that way, I find. But, yeah, so it's a little all over the place. Sometimes I can sit down and, like, go, like, first verse, second verse, chorus. Like, it's just, like, it happens all chronologically. Like, I can think of the next thing, but that's pretty rare. Normally it's kind of pieces of a puzzle. And I do find it very similar to making visual art, where it's like you're kind of like you have like a general idea of where you'd like it to go, but I feel like until you're actually doing it, you can't really see what the end result's going to be for a while, and you just have to keep like kind of going back in and refining things. I mean, that's how I work with visual art anyway, I guess. Everyone's got their... I guess you can plan... I can plan all I want, but if I'm not flexible, then things start to feel forced, and I'm not letting, like, anything, like, magic happen.
You want the magic.
Yeah, that's what I want.
So, in terms of the theme of your music, is it magic?
The theme. I think my theme, like, a lot of my songs are, like, pretty, like, feelingsy. Like, I'm trying to, like, understand my feelings, and I'm trying to understand other people. Yeah, like I think a lot of it's pretty introspective, but then, yeah, I guess, like, trying to understand how other people act, or, like, why I'm acting a certain way. Like, it is very, like, therapy session stuff, I would say. And I don't know, musically, I mean, you know, I'm writing, like, pop and rock music. I can't really, like, go too deep with the music side. I feel like I'm always trying to, like, reflect the emotion of the lyric in the music. Or sometimes, you know, I'm playing with, like, opposites. Like, if I have some really dark lyrics, it's fun to, like, make the music really happy. And then sometimes it's, you know, it comes off as even darker then, if you're doing that. Yeah, like, yeah, music-wise, I'm always just trying to, like, find things that sound cool. What can I say? I'm always trying to, I find one really difficult thing is, like, when I find something musically that really works for me, like, if there's, I don't know, kind of like sounds that I go back to a lot, because I'm like, oh, I know this will sound cool on this song, but I've, like, already done it, like, 3 times before. Like, it's, like, challenging myself to find new sounds to explore that will also sound neat. I think that's just part of, like, my, like, resistance to like change. Like, it's just extra work. But then that's when, like, breakthroughs happen, and that's where the magic is. And again, that's, like, just sitting down and putting in the work for, like, the good ideas to come through. If I don't sit down and, like, play with different sounds, like, it's not just, like, I'm not going to be able to just think of it one day. Like, I have to play around. Yeah.
So it's kind of a self-inspiration in a sense.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think I get pretty frustrated in that, like, I'll put time aside, and sometimes it feels like I'm working for a really long time and, like, getting nothing done. like nothing tangible, like, happened. Like, I can't go, oh, well, I wrote half the song today. It's like, I noodled around with 50 different sounds today, and they all sucked. But, like, you have to go through that.
Yes.
To find the good things.
Cool. Well, Rebecca, I think it's 11:35. We have about 25 more minutes left.
Okay.
Would you like to perform a song for us?
Yes, sure.
Go for it.
I have I rented this tiny acoustic guitar. So I'm gonna play a song that is on my EP that hasn't been released yet. Yeah. I've tried to drown you from my mind. You show up when I think I'm fine. Hunker down like roots in a hurricane. I'm going crazy, you're like, I'm okay. It's okay, it's okay. I could walk on stilts right over you. But you've got a rope to trim you through. I wanna hold your heart right in my fist. But you've got me tied up at the wrist, at the wrist. Can't resist this. It's been a love song, but it's killing me. Trying to get to you. This could have been a love song, but you're over me, falling over you. I wanna be everything that you regret. Live off the smoke from your cigarettes. Wish you'd lay it out and spit the truth. You're a goddamn bull trying to break into this. Been a love song, but it's killing me. Trying to get to you. This could have been a love song, but you're over me, falling over you. I keep falling apart, keep trying till you're invisible, yeah, invisible, yeah. Keep falling apart, keep dying till you're invisible, yeah, invisible, yeah. This could have been a love song, but it's killing me, trying to get to you. This could have been a love song, but you're over me, falling over you. This could have been a love song, but it's killing me, trying to get to you. This could have been a love song, but you're over me, falling over you.
Wow, beautiful.
Thank you.
Very nice. This is one of those songs, definitely. One of those timeless ones. It was very nice.
Oh, thank you.
When you release it, make sure to send it to me so I can also post it on our page if you'd like. I think people would really enjoy to listen that.
Yeah, that would be great. I'll send it to you for sure. I'm not sure when I'm putting this stuff out. Hopefully it'll be early New Year.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I've been sitting on it for a while. It's this pandemic, I tell ya. Everyone I know that wants to release music, it's so, like, you want to put it out, but it's like, you want people to hear it, and you can't, like, put on a proper, like, release show for it, which sucks, but people are still listening to music at home, so.
It's true, yeah. More than ever now, actually, so we
need
it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are discovering a lot of new music because of it, or like going back to like, I know I was kind of going back to like older albums, like albums that like I've heard of my whole life, but like I never bothered to listen So
Yeah.
now, like playing catch up here. So I guess that's a positive. We're able to like take a breath and get some things done we've always wanted to do, like listen to music and like watch movies, read books.
You know, I felt like people were so in rush before this pandemic, and now I feel like good. Finally, people can just slow down a little bit, you know, take a deep breath and just reflect a little bit. What is the rush for? What are we trying to accomplish?
Right.
I mean, not if it's even for the good cause, still,
Right.
you cannot rush it. You cannot rush it.
Yeah.
But that's how the world was before. So
Yeah.
I think there are good changes are happening too, which we should probably concentrate on those more.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been thinking about that, like to kind of continue that headspace of like what is it necessary to have in my life, and like what am I pushing aside, and like kind of continue on that mindset that I felt I was very much in like May, where I'm like, what really matters? And I think they're opening up to like continue to think that way and not just go back to exactly the way it was before. It is good change to apply.
I'm glad to hear that. All right, Rebecca, my next question to you is that would you like to collaborate with other artists?
Yes. So that song you played at the beginning, that is a collaboration.
Okay.
That was a song I wrote this summer with a Japanese artist.
Nice.
So that was cool to like, and he's also a producer. So we were able to work long distance with like 15-hour time difference between us.
Why not?
And yeah, so it was a little bit slow because of the time difference. And if we wanted to like talk on Zoom or something, it would be like I would have to wake up at like 7 a.m. or something, and then it would be really late for him. Like it was always kind of tricky that way. But like just sending like ideas back and forth like through Google Drive worked fine, and just building on it. And then I have like just working with producers, I feel like I've always worked with people who have a lot of like creative ideas that they contribute. And I feel like that is like a form of like collaboration with like an artist, like even though it's not officially like an artist like label, it's a producer. And yeah, I mean bands, that's collaboration there. But yeah, that song with the Japanese artist, his artist name is Starro, Starro. Like that's really inspired me to maybe reach out to more people, because it's made me realize like just how easy it is to like literally work with anyone on the planet. So it's kind of like I have no excuses to not be working with other people.
Very good.
Yeah, because that was like, you know, that's kind of as tricky as it gets, is like working with someone on the opposite side of the planet from you. And I feel like every time I work with someone new, I learn a lot. Like, because everyone has their different working styles and ways they like to do things, or like some really work from like a perspective of like music theory, and then others like play off of sounds so much, like they're not really thinking about what it is in particular like is making it sound that way. It's just like more of a gut thing. And I feel like working with someone is like so much more of an education for me than like going to university like ever was. Just like real life, like just making things is the best way to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping I'll do more collaborations in like whatever way it is. If it's like if like I'm producing something, or like we're co-writing a song, or yeah.
Cool. Let me just quickly check our time here. Okay, we have about 13 minutes left. I still have a few more questions here left, so I'm just going to quickly go through them. Or whichever, that how many that we get through, that's fine with me.
Okay.
What is your perspective on art and creativity in general?
My perspective on art and creativity. I feel like okay, that's a pretty broad question, but it's like I think art and creativity is with us all through the day, all day. Every decision is a creative decision we make. Like, it's like what we're making for breakfast
Yeah.
is a creative decision. We're just creating everywhere we go, everything we make, it's art. And I guess what we call art, like music, visual arts, drama, I guess that's more of like we're setting aside time to create something and just like put more of a focused effort into being creative.
Okay.
But I think it's with us all through the day. And I think people like to make up excuses that they're like not creative, but they are, because they're making decisions all day.
That's true.
And, yeah. I don't know.
No, that was a very nice way of putting it. So far, we have never had anyone answering to this question like this. And I think you're probably the 81st guest that we have on this project. So
Okay.
that was a really good response.
Oh.
So my next question to you is that what are your recommendations for those people who want to start making art or music in your case?
To just try things. Like, don't put pressure on yourself. Like, I have to make something good right now. Like, to just, if there's something that is, if you're like drawn to like making art or making music, like you're just like, oh, that would be cool to just like just do it. Like, and don't have the excuse of like, I don't have the right equipment to do it, because like you always have something. Like, I feel like just like whatever you have available to you, that's your start. And you can, like, if you just have like a pen and a notepad, you can draw sketches, right? If all you have for music is like, I don't know, like a $100 guitar, well, like noodle away on that. Even if you don't know how to play guitar, you can
YouTube it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to know how, like, you don't even have to know anything. Like, you can, I mean, even easier, like a piano, you just push buttons down. Like, or you can sing. I feel like, yeah, like, obviously you can study, and that's like an advancement. Like, I'm always learning. Like, I'm not, like, there's like so much more I still want to accomplish and learn.
Yeah.
But I'm not going like, oh, I'm not that good yet, so I'm not going to make anything. Like, we're never going to be good enough. So, yeah, I would just like say, just to start, just do something. And I think that, and like, to not wait for, like to not wait for like the right equipment or like a
perfect condition
to be able to like afford a teacher or there's not going to be like a perfect condition to start.
Nice. No, I agree with you on that. So I think we should think that you're good enough to start, but not good enough to never, be always perfect. So just keep learning, but know that you're good enough to start.
Yeah.
And quit it.
Yeah,
So
totally.
don't put yourself down, but also don't overestimate yourself, bro.
Yeah.
So here's my next question to you. Let me just quickly check our time. Okay, we have 8 more minutes, but I want you to give me this answer. Who were you most inspired by for yourself or your music?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Well, I don't think I would be. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I don't know if I would be a musician today. Like, if my mom wasn't musical.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. If that would have been something that would have like come into my life later that I would have pursued. And then, well, and like my dad, like he was a big music fan.
Okay.
So like I listened to a lot of music growing up as well. And then like now, like as far as like being driven like for writing, like I would just say like everyday like interactions with people, just like living life. Like I feel like when I write songs, it's like, I need to like go through life and experience things to have like content to write about.
That makes
So
sense.
just life in general is an inspiration. And yeah.
Cool. So if you could have a superpower, what would that be?
I would want to be invisible. I know that's like not too interesting, but I feel like there's a lot of things you could do with that.
Yeah.
Because you could just like get on a plane somewhere, no one would know, or like go into like expensive shows, or like I don't know, I always think about flying would be a good superpower, but like I feel like invisibility, there's like a lot of options of what you could do with that. So that's my answer.
Cool. All right. I'll take that. Okay, let me quickly check. Okay, we have 5 more minutes. I have 2 more questions left. So I'm going to ask my last question first.
Okay.
And then if you have more time, we can do the other one. But how can our viewers reach out to you or listen to your music? Do you have a website? Do you put your music on any particular platform that we could go and check out?
Yes. I mean, follow me on Instagram at TOVI Music. I think that's where I'm the most active. And I'm on Facebook too. And I'm on all the platforms, like music platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Google, Amazon. Cool. So I'm just TOVI, TOVI, to find me.
Cool. Do you have a YouTube channel as well or no?
Yes, I do, but I don't have a lot on it. But you can listen to my music on YouTube as well. I don't even know what I'm called on there. I think if you look up TOVI music,
It should be there.
let me see what my channels is here. Oh, it's just TOVI, TOVI in all caps. Yes.
Awesome. I'm gonna look you up. So, okay. What are you working on right now?
I'm working on a new EP. So I have no idea what it's gonna end up sounding like. But I have a few recording sessions booked in a month. So we'll see. I feel very unprepared, but I feel like I work well with deadlines, and like I just need like a date that I need to have things ready for. So I've been doing a lot of songwriting lately for these new recordings coming up. So that should be an EP coming out, I would say like next fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, sounds great. I just wanted to take the opportunity and thank you again for joining us on our Instagram Live. It was a pleasure to talk to you again. I know it was a long time that I haven't seen you, and I was really excited for this conversation. I really enjoyed it. And also do make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Loud Art Society. So when we post these videos, you will be able to actually watch them and share it with your friends, family, and more people can watch us. So that would be great.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'll keep you posted on new endeavors here with my music. And yeah, it was great to talk. I can't believe how many years it's been, but this is very fun. And I'm so, I don't know, it really excites me when I have friends that were into the arts when I was younger and they're like still chipping away at it. Yeah. Warms my heart.
Me too. So, thank you. Thank you so much again, Rebecca. I hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you everyone who joined us. Bye.